I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, Velocities in Music. Today we're going to review Coldplay's latest album, Mylo, Xyloto, or however the hell you want to say it. No one really knows. No one knows, so your guess is as good as ours. Yeah. Now this album is Coldplay's return with Brian Eno. At the production.
I don't think he was like the main producer, but he did have a hand in it for sure.
Well, you know, that's good. You know, I felt like he was a good addition to Viva La Vida. Viva La Vida came off very well. We've reviewed Viva La Vida. If you guys want to go check that out, Tom and I love that album. Thought that it was, I think we love it more than it actually is a good revolutionary release. Yeah. With this, on the other hand, is Coldplay wanted to go in a new direction. If you read up on this album, Coldplay was cited as wanting to take their sound and they're going away from writing music for their fans. X and Y, and even Viva La Vida for some part was very much a response to some of the criticism they had gotten on previous records, on their early records, about what the fans wanted, and so they were trying to meet this this fan expectation, and so they went that way, and with the help of Brian Eno, I think Viva La Vida was a success. Now on Mylo, Xyloto, they're doing something a little bit different. This is a concept record, or in theory is a concept record between two lovers, and it's a little longer than a lot of Coldplay albums. It's 14 tracks long. I don't know if it's actually longer in length, but in tracks it's a little bit longer.
With a few intermission, interlude tracks.
Right. And these guys wanted they wanted just to get in the studio and start recording, and whatever comes out, they'll just turn it in. And they said that they're going to settle on this they're going for kind of an industrial rock direction. What? Industrial rock? This sounds nothing like industrial rock. I got to get this out of the way. What the hell? They said they're not going to, they said they didn't want to do power pop anthems. That's all this record is power pop anthems. That's it. That's it. And the concept, to me, kind of got washed away in the middle of the Rihanna feature and all of the chorus. It was a waterfall. Justin Bieber writes better choruses than that. And to me, I feel like there's a couple major issues hampering it, and that's really got me a little ticked off. However, there are some redeeming qualities of this. I'll get to those in a minute. I kind of want to hear what Tom thought about this album.
First off, I agree with everything you've had to say so far.
All right.
I mean, this was frustrating for me because this is a band that they are one of the biggest bands in the world right now.
Right.
They could do literally anything and people would still buy it, no matter what. So for them to say that they're going to write for themselves and then come out with this, which sounds like the most radio pop friendly thing they've ever done.
Lots of just club beats.
Yeah, and that's the problem. To me, it doesn't even sound like it does in a few spots. I won't say that as an overarching general statement, but for the most part, this sounds less like a band and more like Chris Martin with a team of producers.
Right.
I mean, rarely do I hear great drums, great bass. I hear some good guitar lines in tracks like Charlie Brown and Every Teardrop is a Waterfall and Major Minus, and then a couple acoustic tracks in there.
I think this is the best Coldplay guitar album since Parachutes.
Yeah, there's lots of great guitar on here. But I mean, like, where it's there, it's really good.
Right.
And then you'll just get like a synth. And you'll get this really poppy electronic beat, and you know how I feel about electronics. I'm okay with them if they're used properly. I mean, we're going to be reviewing M83 soon, and I really liked how he integrated them into there. But for here, it just seems like an excuse somehow. Right. That's what it comes off as to me. Is like, we're just going to put this in here because we can. But what boggles my mind is that that's a tactic that a lot of people rely on when they just can't do better. But I know from past albums that these guys can do better, and that's why I don't understand that move.
Right.
I really don't get it.
Yeah, it's like they just started taking this really good thing that they had going. And Coldplay, I've accused Coldplay of being a formulaic band. I think their first 4 albums all follow a relatively solid formula that they use, and it's effective. So I was always, it was kind of a double-edged sword for them. I feel like they kind of went away from that here, but what they did is they started just shoving that electronic production and these synths into the songs, and it's just overwhelming to say the least. And the beats and it just comes off as just like a really bad attempt to get on the radio. and that's not what this band is about. This band is all about that endearing sentimentality that they've always been so good at, and some of that's still here, but the lyrics took a serious hit.
Are bad,
the lyrics took a serious hit, and the Coldplay lyrics have never been great, but they're definitely not up to the regular standard of Coldplay albums. And even the vocal writing, the vocal parts themselves aren't very good. In a lot of parts, I feel like they're just not as strong as what you would expect from Coldplay. And this is an album where it's almost impossible not to compare it to Viva La Vida, because it's kind of a similar sound. Same guy producing it. And Viva La Vida was so planned and strategic, and everything was just so coordinated, and this is just not that.
They sounded like a rock band on the album.
Right.
And they don't here.
And they sounded like a band with an idea and a plan, and that album was supposed to give you some sort of an effect when you're done with it. Like, you were supposed to walk away going, oh, that's what Viva La Vida is.
And here it's like there's no focus in
And here it's just all over the place. And only on 2 tracks do I really feel like these guys hit it home. And it's when they went this more electronic edge, and you can still tell there's keyboards and the drum are a little bit of electronic beat. But it's Major Minus and U.F.O. are the 2 tracks where I feel like they strip their sound down and they're really able to let the real Coldplay come out. And I feel like it's just the rest of it's just kind of this cloud of just flamboyant, just regurgitated crap that they're just throwing into these tracks to try to bolster them up.
And for me, I like those 2 tracks, and also I think Charlie Brown and Us Against the World were pretty good.
Right.
Other than that, though, those tracks actually being decent, and one other thing is a saving grace, and that's that I gotta say, there were actually some pretty progressive song structures on here. There wasn't a lot of just verse, chorus, verse, chorus. There were some of them. So I don't understand why they take that kind of forward-thinking song structure and then just fill it in with cookie-cutter kind of garbage. But also, even those good tracks, while they're the best on Mylo Xyloto, they probably would have been the worst tracks on any other Coldplay album. Right. So what does that say about it?
But one good thing to come away from Mylo Xyloto is knowing that Coldplay is now officially writing music for themselves. They're writing music. They wanted to go down this path, and so this is what happens. Now, I feel like they need to take the reins in and really let Brian Eno take over, maybe provide some more strategy. But I'm glad that the band is doing their own thing because they want to do it, and they're feeling less fettered by fan desires, record company desires. They've reached that status that bands like Radiohead have, where they can do whatever they want. So it's nice to see that they're at least thinking about that. I'm interested to see where they go in the future. I don't recommend that you give up on this band yet. Listen to this album. Tell us what you think at www.velocitiesandmusic.com. But just take away that I feel like this is a big letdown this year for this year in albums. And overall, while there's good moments on it, I'm just not feeling it. I'm going 62.
I'm going 59.
Yeah, average out 60, 61. I feel like that's a little generous.
Yeah.
Tell us what you guys think. www.velocitiesandmusic.com or youtube.com/velocitiesandmusic. Also, please follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. That's where all the conversing about music with our fans happens, so we really would encourage you guys to join us there. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are Velocities in Music, moving music critique forward.
Which way the river